almost exactly the same situation here if they drop a game to H2K, because they would both be 3-3 in the group. EDG probably getting a few flashbacks.
I think so. A lot of fans as well. And the Chinese scene fans, the LPL fans, have had a lot of disappointment to deal with in Worlds so far. EDG getting out of this group would be pretty nice for them.
Yeah, funnily enough, ClearLove is the only remaining member from that EDG team that had the 3-3 group last year, but the brand is the same.
Before the great Korean exodus.
Yeah.
So Deft, a lot riding on this guy's shoulders this game, as we've already said, and Mako as well, too. I mean, he's really got to go all out in terms of keeping this Jinx safe, keeping him away from the shockwaves, keeping everybody off of his AD carry.
Let's see, Kasing and Hjarnan here. Looks like calling the lane swap as they move up. They are going to take a peek in at the Gromp. This is dangerous.
Can they sneak through? They actually haven't been detected by vision here, and they're sending both. This could be a really high value disruption if they get there quickly.
Stun is up.
Gotta go quick.
Stun is up. They see the ward come in. Deft and Mako trying to come out the other side here. The stun could land. It will land on Mako. Decent amount of damage, and they don't get the Gromp. So neither team really gets any XP out of the deal, or any XP lead, I would say, out of the deal.
Deft actually has a 1 minute advantage experience-wise and the faster shove. So even though H2K disrupted that, they basically only get the match lanes out of this. EDG doesn't want to lane against this at all. They don't want to go up against bullies, so they're immediately swapping.
Wow, that's
rare.
Bold.
They're falling so far behind on tempo for this play.
Well, this is a risk that they're going to take, right? Because they now say we don't want to lane against this Annie Callista combo, so we're going to sacrifice a certain amount of farm in order to make that happen. And that may put the Jinx behind, but they're saying it's better to be a few minions behind than the possibility of that kill lane coming through or them getting zoned off the wave entirely. But we'll see how exactly H2K is going to react.
Oh, they're going to find Amazing J. Walked right through the turret there. Amazing J could take some damage, but they can't really do anything with the turret. Focusing Kasing. Kasing taking a lot of damage there too. Amazing J could just take him out perhaps. Kasing, they pop that summoner heal. Amazing J taking a lot of damage in response. There's the Rend. Not enough on either side. That was kind of a crazy engagement. Now H2K, they want to go for the big four-man dive here. Amazing J solo. Teleport comes in. No, it's canceled. And Amazing J could still be in trouble. Are they going to get first blood? Amazing J, they get him. First blood goes to Kasing, and they will get out fairly clean.
This is the way European teams and H2K lane swap. If you're going to be playing against this, you have to be able to send defense for your top laner. This is the second game in a row, well, with the Bangkok Titans game in between, that Amazing J has just been basically left for dead with poor support from his team. Yes, he is dying in these turret situations, but anyone would die in these turret situations. H2K get the very important first blood.
Yes, they do. And not only that, but credit to H2K here, because this was a really weird lane swap situation. It was a delayed lane swap, right? But they didn't miss a beat. They just adjusted on the fly very well in their comms to just moving up into that top side and playing as if really Deft and Mako had never even been in that lane.
Well, and in no sense was it a standard lane swap, because Lulex went up there before level 3, so he had the really AP Elise take turret aggro and repel after the kill to drop it. It was level 2 Elise that ended up ganking, and they even tried to move down to preempt Amazing J getting under the turret, and then adapted mid-dive to still be able to continue despite all the damage Kasing took.
Well, they had to use that summoner heal. Now Pawn a little bit of trouble. Takes a lot of damage from Ryu. To be able to get out, not needing to burn that flash just yet, but the pressure really being put on by H2K. Looks like the first turret in the game will go to EDG, probably, though. It's going to be pretty close, I think.
Yeah, both top laners are going to be left with the gold, however, so each team. But again, because of this issue with Amazing J and the fact that he did get dove early on, you kind of want to give the money to Jinx in that situation, especially to power up that late game.
I'm really confused by the way EDG is playing this, because they are sending mixed messages as to what their overall goals and win conditions are, which makes me worried that they're not properly identifying what they need to do to win this game. Deft should have been given full turret experience, in my opinion, in that matchup, because they're already putting him at a disadvantage when he initially swapped.
Especially because he's had to go back and get an Avarice Blade right now compared to the Vamp Scepter on Callista. And remember, they chose to dodge this lane.
Pawn takes a ton of damage.
So they chose to dodge this lane, and now they've put themselves in a prolonged power trough. And if they get into that Anti-Callista lane again with an Elise ganking, it's going to be very difficult.
We saw the fan vote. looked pretty much dead even, 49% to 51%. And who in the world would have expected that, you know, even before today, perhaps?
Yeah, EDG has not opened up this game well. The one thing that they do have, though, is they've been successfully able to get Deft not up against opposition. He hasn't fallen far behind in CS, and he will be taking that average split. EDG is very clearly going for a late game strategy here, or at least a mid to late game strategy. Once Deft can complete 1 to 2 major items, and Pawn can get some powerful shields, but they have to be able to withstand until that point.
Pawn flashes out that shockwave. You trades the ultimate for the Summoner's spell.
Yeah, this should be a decently easy dragon for H2K if they want to, especially unless EDG wants to continue this turret push, because they are slightly ahead on this, and Jinx takes turrets fairly quickly. Smart call by EDG to move for the second turret. That blocks the dragon.
Yeah, just keeping Clear Love in the lane right now, so no mysteries here for H2K, but they may just respond to walking through the mid lane, and maybe be a little bit delayed on this response.
Yeah, so it seems a little bit slow. And this push is going to take out this turret very quickly if H2K allows it, and it kind of looks like they are.
Well, they've got very good wards in the enemy jungle, too. This was set up very nicely by EDG. Kasing coming around, they're going to TP in. They may go for a play right here.
Well, he could land a stun. Still level 4, so no timbers, but that W, of course, is AoE, but no chance to engage there.
I think the play is just make up for lost time, because H2K was really behind on that play of the second turret pushing in side lanes. The fact that they were able to defend it, I think, saves that turret for a really long time.
Problem is with that play is sure they denied the dragon, but now they have easy farm for Fiora back next to the tier 2 and
to do with the team fight first and then a sneak. Unless H2K completely gets lackadaisical with their vision control, it could also start if they can stop Auto Omni from split pushing, which is a possibility. The deep wards, as far as H2K are concerned, are mostly non-existent, which makes their split push really hard to accomplish, which means their Baron vision gets much lower. So if the trends hold true from the past 5 minutes, I'd say a sub 30-minute Baron for EDG is not out of the question.
Certainly could be. Pawn partying in the mid lane. And this next dragon up in 1:10 about EDG. They can take it. They'll be pulling a lead in every category except for kills.
They're getting so much vision control right now that it's going to make the dragon much easier to take.
Yeah. Man, Amazing J is way down in CS, but you know, if the Fiora can't seem to split push, it doesn't really make a big difference, does it?
Yeah. Well, they're not warding for Fiora to split push. There's literally no wards south of the river right now. So even though H2K, I think, had a very good draft, and they started out this game very strongly, they have really let this one slip through their fingers. EDG came out with a rather weak early game, a very punishable early game, and we've seen SK Telecom really just hammer them when they make mistakes like this. But EDG was able to sort of weasel their way back into this game with some just consistent lane swapping of the Jinx, and H2K simply picking the wrong places on the map to focus.
It seems like this is kind of the story of H2K's tournament, right? Is that they've been doing okay early on a little bit, and then it just seems to consistently fall apart a little bit, and not by a lot. They just can't seem to make the exact right move at the exact right time. They can juggle 3 balls, 4 is a bit tough.
You got to do 2 in each hand if you're juggling 4 balls.
That's
you cannot do a normal cascading pattern.
That's really hard. I can only do 3.
I can speak from experience. Really? You can juggle? We have Hawk and juggling.
I can juggle too.
Wow, we should just have a try juggling cast now. Need to make this happen.
It'll be quite difficult. I'm not at that level.
Even so, the vision control for EDG is decently strong around the dragon here, and I think this is the type of fight they're willing to take. We mentioned the CS discrepancy from Amazing J. Not that important because he's still Malphite when it comes to team fights, unless H2K gets the split push going, which is what they're going for right now. Love the call by EDG to push up mid.
Yep, they're going right for that tier 2 turret mid lane. I mean, they do lose their tier 2 in bot, and Auto Omni is going to continue pushing. EDG turning this one around. They might be able to catch somebody here. Lulex throws out the cocoon, doesn't connect. Yarnin.
Okay,
needs to be careful. Oh boy, here comes a Tom Kench. Comes in, is he close enough? Amazing J caught up a little bit. They're going to jump onto Yarnin right away here. Yarnin flashes away, doesn't get CC'd. Going to pull in his Annie, his support. Still gets taken out. Amazing J with the kill there. Kasing in a lot of trouble as he gets back to the Baron. But the Baron's not going to help you, man. You got a flash, but you don't have it. No flash for you, you're dead. And there's a bot lane out of commission for H2K. Baron helping out a little bit, and perhaps that Baron damage is enough to keep EDG from pursuing this fight.
The Abyssal Voyages for Mako have been so on point, and they're really generating a lot of positive plays for EDG. That was a really extended back and forth play, and because of all the quick movements around the map, H2K did lose their coordination a little bit, and that's exactly when the Abyssal Voyage came in to give them the right start to that team fight.
I think H2K just had to pull the trigger earlier. You'll notice that Otoamne did not use teleport right there, and they allowed themselves to be carved up on the map as a result and get split. Meanwhile, the 2P, so Otoamne comes in right here, but had he teleported more up towards the river, there could have been a play made, perhaps.
Yeah, Otoamne was already on the run from what he thought was an expected collapse, so kind of a disaster. Sharner would have been dead either way, it feels like. The tank lines were just in the right position for EDG, and, well, H2K doesn't actually have it. They need clean initiations. Getting engaged on is never good when you're running this squishy of a team.
That way. H2K in quite a bit of trouble now, despite the fact that the gold is still pretty even.
Yeah. That does actually remind me of a really critical point as far as what EDG has put together here. They have very strong disengage and a protect the Jinx composition, but these comps are even better when you can just kill frontline. Since no one on H2K is actually tanky enough to take even 5 or 6 hits from the Jinx. So once they speed Jinx up, the game will just be over if EDG gets even a little bit more momentum, because H2K doesn't have proper tank lines.
Well, now we're going to see, can H2K use this teleport advantage to its fullest degree? Because that's what they've got going for them. They're still relatively even in gold, and Otoamne, by not using his TP in that last fight, is going to put some pressure down onto this bottom side, but the rest of his team has to be doing something else. Looks like they will be trying to clear out some vision in the mid lane and push forward, but there's a lot of EDG wards on that Baron.
Yeah, there's no dragon to try to take, so the Baron can be the focus. But EDG,
they're all sitting in the
ready to spring a trap, yeah.
So there's plenty of knowledge to try and set up a trap.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult for Otoamne to get the safe split push because there's not enough disengage on H2K to stop the engage from EDG.
Guess you just start the Baron.
That burns the teleport. So much for the TP advantage.
Yep.
And he canceled it too, so they can just go right back on, and he has to walk. This is great for EDG.
Yeah, they're going to get a lot of damage in on that Baron, but can they finish it off? H2K coming in. They want to contest it. EDG backing off right away. They're going to take down the Rift Scuttler just for a little bit of extra vision as they move back to the mid lane. So H2K able to stop the Baron, at least for now anyway, but I don't think EDG is too bothered by that. They can keep waiting this one out.
Right, and they're going to get a GP advantage for at least a brief time, and that is going to force Fiora to group up, which is exactly what EDG wants. They want the 5v5. They want H2K to group, so just play a methodical game here. Wait for them to be in your pocket before you actually try and take a fight.
In Tom Kench's mouth pocket. Gross.
Wait till they're in the Kench.
Gross but effective.
Yeah, it's true. Disgusting but effective. We need like a Tom Kench skin that yells, "It's a trap" when he comes out of his ult or something. That'd be sick, man.
What we need is somebody with a really strong arm to be noodling. We were talking about this earlier, where noodling is what you do with a catfish. You stick your arm into a hole in a swamp, and the catfish latches onto your arm and you pull it out. It's basically one of the more dangerous kinds of fishing because you don't know what's going to be in the hole. Is it an alligator? Is it a water snake?
Also one of the most manly ways to go fishing.
If you like to lose fingers to snapping turtles, sure. It is manly. So who would have an arm strong enough? Probably Tryndamere if he dropped his sword.
I think
noodles to the Tom Kench.
I would pick Victor because he can just stick his third metal arm in there. He doesn't need to worry at all.
Just build a new one. He is the perfect.
He's like, I've got spares at home. I can noodle all day. Well, taken out of context, that sentence. Yeah.
If you just tuned in right now,
we're talking about noodling. Wait, no, let us explain. It's a kind of fishing.
Also, I learned an alternative name is catfisting.
Well,
Blitzcrank can handle that one.
I'm sure that's not getting spammed in Twitch chat right now. I have complete confidence.
What I think is even more interesting, though, is Otoamne split pushing bottom without teleport. Because it puts them in a pretty difficult situation. Yeah. They don't have strong vision control over Baron, and if anyone gets picked off, it's a free Baron for EDG because it would take him so long to go up there. Amazing J has the teleport advantage in the bottom lane, and it makes H2K's push in the mid lane pretty difficult.
Yeah, I would say. They're not really doing much with it right now, though. Amazing J just trying to stop the split push. Do you think they should just go for Baron instead?
I think they definitely have that option if Amazing J wants to go ahead and TP up there. Question is, how fast can they actually take it? The answer is pretty fast. You see Deft right now not even bothering building Last Whisper. There's no armor, so who cares, really?
Specifically, the Bloodthirster is the survivability that they're really going to need. If no one can immediately get onto Deft and kill him, he will win the fight based on sustained damage capabilities. It does seem like EDG is still just playing this mostly slow. It is still very risky for them to go for a straight-up Baron against an Orianna and an Anti-Calista combo. I mean, maybe they actually set up a kill on Ottawamne here.
Maybe.
He needed to block that slow. He needed to block it.
Oh, Pawn coming in. They got the flash. Teleport back up now for Ottawamne. But he's going to get out with his life.
Well, EDG waited that one out. I think they had a pretty good opportunity to make a play around that teleportless split push, but not going to make much of a difference. So they did blow Ottawamne's flash on that, and this gave H2K time to regain vision control over Baron, considering how much EDG committed to the bottom side of the map right there.
H2K trying to find a fight here, and they're going to find Clearlove. Not pulling the trigger on that one, though. They're going to go for Mako. Mako pretty tanky, backs off. There's the shield. He's going to be just fine. Flame Chomper's down. Yarnin goes in, gets some damage onto Deft. Kosik trying to help out. They miss the stun. And now Clearlove back in with the re-engage. So much damage coming from EDG. Deft is getting excited, and all the fans of EDG are too. As Lulex and Ryu runs away, here comes the Kench, and he's going to get the slow onto Ryu. Can they catch him? Trying to get there a little bit too low health. One more hit, though. Could do it. Two more hits. Can he eat him? They're not going to need you. Ryu going to go down. Another kill for Deft. That is 4 for 0. A near flawless team fight for EDG.
That may be the clinching fight that moves EDG into the quarterfinals. They've been waiting for that setup for so long, and honestly, this game has been heavily about the catch. They didn't even need Amazing J's Malphite ultimate to pull that one off.
Yeah.
Unless it came back off cooldown during the chase. I'm pretty sure it didn't.
No, I don't think it did, but doesn't matter. Lulex down anyway. They've got a couple people still over at that Baron, so we have 31-minute Baron take for EDG. And it's been a bit of a sloppy game from both sides.
Early on, it was sloppy for EDG, I would say, but I would say the last 15 minutes have been quite clean. When they fully committed to getting to the late game, I think EDG has played this quite well. And it's okay for Tahm Kench to face check things because he is Tahm Kench. Look at the shielding he was able to get, and then disagree with the flash in, because Sing, such a critical miss.
Crucial Tibbers, and that damage.
Well, when you start grouping up in a choke point like that, after you miss on the rockets are going to come through, the Gragas barrel's going to come through, and there's not a lot of hope right there. H2K wanted to make the pick, didn't make the pick, and then they lost the 5.
They're on a ward. Clearlove going in, another explosive cast. Kasing destroyed immediately. Clearlove held up a bit, big shockwave, but no follow-up. So EDG is going to be just fine. Ryu on the run again, going to try to teleport out. Not going to make it. Mako with a bloodthirsty kill. He licked him.
First kill of the game. Congratulations to Tahm Kench. EDG in full control right now. They have the Baron buff. They've also picked up 2 kills, which means they can push this through very aggressively as long as they go catch the minion wave.
Yeah, without Azonias or anything like that, any armor whatsoever. I mean, with the Jinx already completing this Bloodthirster, really nothing going to stop Deft, especially since he has about a million ways not to die in these team fights. Tons of protection from Tahm Kench, tons of protection from Lulu.
Yeah.
Deft really running away with this one.
Oh, Baron letting them push down these turrets so easily. This is going to be a simple inhibitor, and this could be the game. EDG trying to secure their second place spot. They can do it with a win right here.
Yarden is still finishing off a turret, so they know they have some time before
they do.
We can get back.
And they're going to do some damage to these Nexus turrets. One goes down. H2K needs one last fight. Amazing J goes in under Ryu. Ryu gets evaporated. Lulex running for his life, and Ottawamne can't participate. There it goes. And in the end, H2K says, "Do you have a win?" And EDG says, "Go fish." That is it. EDG takes second place.
Wow. Well, EDG, surprising. Not their best day of League of Legends. We do expect more out of these guys, but they clutched it.